you know, of course, Hawaii, always the blue sky, white clouds and sunshine. It has to be bright. And, you know, my imagination is always, its rhythm is always banana, 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 kind of. Do they have kind of sad music too? Or strong? Of course they do have a strong one.
Yeah, well the music, you know, the music always served a purpose, you know, in the Hawaiian culture where, well, because in the native Hawaiian language, there's no written language, you know, and so yeah, it's all verbal, and the way that they would preserve their history and their stories was through chants, you know, and that became the lyrics to these tunes that you hear all the time, and basically these chants were just it's almost like a you know, like a poem, you know. I mean, these chants, yeah, and they had a certain meter and a rhythm to them, and they would do them, you know, to some kind of beat, and the dancers would kind of tell the story with their hands as a chant, you know, is going on, and which led to, you know,
to make it visual.
Yeah, and that was the hula, right? That was the hula, and that's where that was the whole purpose of music, was to tell these stories.
So real traditional, you know, Hawaiian music and ukulele music is totally different, you mean?
Well, because later when these string instruments started to come into play, they would take the chants and they would say the chants over chords now, you know, and the chants always had a certain melody to them, you know, but then I think they elaborated on the melody a little bit more when there was, you know, these nice chord progressions behind them. So yeah, so it's really interesting, but that's why the form of Hawaiian music is kind of unique, you know, like when you listen to modern music, you know, it's like you always have a verse, chorus, bridge, you know, verse, whatever. But Hawaiian music was always traditionally just verse, verse after verse after verse after verse, and the melody never changed, you know, because it was just, you know, it was just these chants, these series of,
like a
of
brain.
stories, yeah. And so, you know, and that was the purpose of what they call the Hawaiian vamp. And this, I'm sure you heard this, you've heard this before. Right? That was they call this the vamp, which means that, okay, we're going to the next verse.
Okay.
So it's basically to just, it was a little chord progression to break up each verse of the song, yeah, because there were no other, other things. Yeah, so it was always, you know, whether it was... and then next verse, right? And so that was basically the purpose behind, you know, the Hawaiian vamp. And that's why it's so recognizable, you know, because it happens between every verse of the song. So you hear that,
like
it's Hawaiian music, it's Hawaiian music. Yeah, exactly. It's like a turnaround in a blues. Yeah.
Third voice of blues,
Yeah.
All right. So.